has personally visited every county in New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharp Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharp Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharp Way Radio.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharp Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty. So happy to have you with me this afternoon. 585 346 3000 is the number if you want to chat after the first break. You know, I was chatting with my daughter last week, and it made me think a little bit about New York City, New York State, and gun control. Now, that happens often, but then something happened this weekend which made me rethink it again. And here's my story. My daughter has a friend who lives in a tough neighborhood, and she was afraid of being harmed. I don't want to go too crazy on this, but of being harmed by a group of people. There we go. I'll say that. She was worried about that. Because she was worried about that, she decided to try to protect herself. So she got a firearm. Now, this firearm was not legal, but she got one anyway because she was worried that she would be harmed by a group of people. Well, she was right. The group of people did try to harm her. She then used that firearm to try to defend herself, and it worked. And they ran off. Well done. Except now she's in trouble. Because, of course, you are not allowed to protect yourself in New York City. That's against the law. Defending yourself in New York City, against the law. You might go, wait a minute, Larry, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, doesn't have to make sense. Still true. Sadly, throughout most of the state, it's true. But 100% true here in New York City. So she then decides, okay, no worries. I know that was a problem. I am going to go make it legal. Because I live in a tough part of town and I could be harmed by people. And I was literally already attempted, right? That already happened to her already. They attempted to do so. And that's like the cops know, right? This isn't something she's made up. It's documented. So she did happen. So she's like, hey, I'm going to go get legal. And I thought that's a wonderful idea. And a fantasy, a total and utter fantasy. I said, what do you mean, Larry? Can't she just go and legally show that she's not a bad person and that she can go get a firearm? No, it's not how that works. Remember, this is New York State. The Bill of Rights is the Bill of Suggestions, not the Bill of Rights. It's the Bill of Suggestions. And you can suggest that you could have that. And the government may or may not decide that you can have that thing. It's just the Bill of Suggestions. It's not the Bill of Rights. In other states, well, some other states, it's the Bill of Rights. Here, suggestions. We'll figure it out. Maybe. We'll decide if we like you. So she couldn't believe it. Like, wait a minute. I'll just apply for a permit, right? That could be in my house. So then if they come to my house, I'll be safe. Well, that sounds amazing. That does sound great. But for those you don't know, the only way you get a permit in New York City is if you're former law enforcement or very wealthy. That's it. If you think I'm making that up, you can just research that. In fact, you can go into any AI, ChatGPT, Grok, you pick the one, Gemini, you pick the one you want and put in, what are the odds of me getting a firearm license permit in New York City? And after the AI stops laughing at you, it will then explain why you have no shot unless you are either former law enforcement or very wealthy. I wish I was joking. So you might say, wait a minute, Larry. It's almost like you're saying there are two levels of classes of people in our state. Those who support the establishment and those who just are the poors, the others. True. True. That's accurate. You're either law enforcement, you support the elites, or you are the elites. Then you get to have a firearm. If you don't, you don't. That's how that works. So when I began to explain this, and my daughter knew this, because my daughter listens to my show, as you all should, and I explained how in New York State, you don't get a license. You apply, and they decide if they want to give you the license or not. And by the way, they don't have to have any answer. They can just go, no. They can't even tell you how to, they don't even have to tell you how to remedy it. So say, for example, you say, hey, I want a firearm, and they go, no, and here's the reason why and how you could remedy that. No, they just go, no. So you pay for the class to learn how, you pay for the license, they take your money and tell you to go to hell. That's how that works. I wish it wasn't that way. That's how New York City works. Now, some counties, not New York City, do a decent job. Some do. Most aren't great. New York City is the worst. Let me tell you why. When I ran for governor in 2018, one of the first things I said was, I just want to do something simple. I want to turn New York State into a shall issue versus a may issue. The difference is I can decide when and how. That's may. Shall, I must, unless you have an actual reason. And on top of that, 90 days, or it's automatically given. If they are behind, then you get your license. They have to find a way to get around this. This is your Second Amendment right. I see it as a Bill of Rights. I know I'm the oddball, but I do. I don't see it as a Bill of Suggestions. So you get it. Now, if they have a real reason, okay, they can have a real reason. They must then explain what the reason is and then give you in a process to either appeal or to repair or remedy it. That's it. If you say, hey, I'm not going to give it to you because you currently have charges, domestic types, against your spouse. Okay. Then maybe they say, once that's remedied, once it's done, you are convicted or not, or whatever, you can reapply, and here's how. That's fair. That's fine. Let's do that. Maybe there's a reason. Or maybe you had some issue that you did something that you shouldn't have done. Okay, then how do we remedy that? Let's have an answer for that. Oh, no. Not just that. Let's say you happen to get it. You're lucky. You know somebody, whatever. In New York State, and she did not know this, your firearm is considered loaded if the ammunition is in the vicinity of the firearm. I'm not joking. That's literally our law since the SAFE Act, 14 or 13? I think 13, maybe 14. I think 13. Anyway, about 10 years ago, whatever it is. I think it's 2013. Since that, now, literally, so you have a box of ammunition on your table, and then across the table, you have a lockbox with your firearm in it, locked up, no bullets in it. New York State, that's loaded. I wish I was joking. She didn't know that. So now you're in trouble. Not just that, in New York City, and you get one for your home. Say you want to go to the range. Now, if you are a firearm owner, you should practice safety. You should practice marksmanship. You should go to the range. That is a good idea. I'm not saying it should be a law. Maybe. But whether law or not, it's a good idea. You should go practice safety. You should practice marksmanship. That is a good, responsible thing to do. You should do so. You get caught in traffic in New York City, or you get caught on a delayed train or bus in New York City, and you're out of your home for too long, you going to jail. Yes, you are. But I have my firearm. I'm going to the range. Or I'm coming back from the range. Well, no, it's for your home. But I get to go to the range. You do, but it's been more than 45 minutes. So clearly, you're just walking around doing errands, and that's against the law. Jail you go. And how New York State also works is, if you have any firearm charge, doesn't matter what you did with it, you are by default, New York State law, a violent felon. So what'd you do with your gun? Nothing. I got caught in traffic. You are a violent felon. What'd you do with your gun? Nothing. I had bullets on a table here and my firearm on another table. Yeah, you are a violent felon. That's how that works in New York City. New York State, but New York City specifically. We've had people in New York City, you can look it up if you think I'm making this up, who are traveling through New York, not stopping, like transferring at LaGuardia or JFK or something. And because of what happens to their plane, they have to get off and get back on, right? That kind of thing. That happens. There's some error, some mistake or something. They have changed, terminals or something. And then they go back through TSA or whatever case may be. All right. They follow all TSA rules, all of them to the T. How they lock their firearm up, how they lock everything, whatever. New York City will come by, arrest them, put them in jail. Yes. And they are now a violent felon. I want to be clear when I say this. You have a legally owned firearm from another state, a permit from that state. You are following all TSA guidelines and rules while you travel. Again, not making this up. Simple Google search. You will see I'm correct. You go into jail in New York City. Yes. So when this young lady decided that she's like, I'm going to get legal and I'm going to protect myself. Yeah, I just want to laugh. You don't get to do that. You can't do that. This is New York City. You can't do that. But I'm a young woman in a bad neighborhood who like to defend myself and already did it and it worked. That doesn't matter. You don't get to. Are you former law enforcement? No. Are you wealthy and elite? No. I guess you're getting shot. That's how that works. That's what happens. And you wonder why there are still so many illegal firearms in New York City. You say, wait a minute, there can't be. That's impossible. There can't be a bunch of illegal firearms in New York City. New York City has strict gun control. Not just that. We have no gun zones. So clearly, there can't be any guns there. I mean, the criminal's going to see the no gun zone and be like, oh, I can't come here. Why? It's no gun zone. And they can't buy them because it's illegal, so they don't buy them. So there's no guns here. Except there were mass shootings across New York City yesterday. Except for that. And I think I'm going to cover that. I will cover that. I'm going to cover that. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, on the Voice of Liberty, 585-346-3000. Back with that story, your calls, and your chat. I see you after the break.
For the last couple of years, Joe Robach has been telling you about Flower City Collision in Henrietta, saying that it was started by a veteran along with his son, Zach. Hi, my name is Greg Sadwick, and I am that veteran. I want to thank the WYSL listeners for their support over the last couple of years. During those years, not only have I experienced the gratification of providing you the best repairs and customer service, it has also allowed me the opportunity to see my son develop as a young professional. So remember, Flower City Collision for your collision repair needs. And thank you for supporting our locally owned family business.
Looking for a way to make your shopping really count? The Stars and Stripes Flag Store transforms every purchase into direct support for local veterans through the Veterans Outreach Center. Browse our selection of flags, apparel, locally crafted merchandise, from laser engraved mugs to handcrafted wooden plaques and more. This is shopping that strengthens our community. This is shopping that changes lives. Visit us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 783 South Avenue in Rochester or online at www.eflagstore.com.
Meet your friends and family at Patty's Pub and Grill. We know you're gonna like it a lot. We really know you will. There's something here for you and yours. Come in and get your fill. And you'll be sure to be coming again to Patty's Pub and Grill. There's something here for you and yours. Come in and get your fill. And you'll be sure to be coming again to Patty's Pub and Grill.
Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty. 585-346-3000 is the number. I was just chatting about how someone could get a firearm in theory in New York City, but really can't. And how, of course, there can't be much gun violence because New York City has strict gun control. And our monarch, Queen Kathy, first of her name, worshiper of the jab, banisher of conservatives, she has told us more than once that no more. She said that. Her words, we say no more. She said that after the Buffalo shooting. Remember that? We say no more. It's done. She's going to put 10 more laws on the books. That'll solve it. She's going to make illegal guns illegaler. She's going to make illegal guns so illegal that no one could ever have one because the power of the illegalness will be too strong. You'll literally it'll fall out of your hand of the power of illegalness. Somehow that didn't work. I don't know how that didn't work. It sounded great. But over the weekend in New York City, only New York City, 6 shootings in 6 hours. Let me say it again. 6 shootings in 6 hours. 2 people dead, 4 in the hospital, 2 in the morgue, 4 in the hospital. In 3 different boroughs. Look, we weren't playing. Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens.
Craig.
Like we got all of them. If you thought maybe we're just doing Brooklyn. No. Just the Bronx? No. We spread that out. We should everybody got a piece. Now, here's the worst part. If it was just one place, one guy, one gal, okay. No. 6 different shootings. Yeah. In 6 hours. Something's not working. I don't know. This power of illegalness isn't working. And so now you have it to where the people who are bad guys still have guns. Where are the good guys? Where are the good guys? They're all becoming bad. And grab a call if I could. This is Craig. Craig, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Larry?
What's going on?
Oh, well, gun control topic near and dear to my heart. And
well, because it always works. And you are obviously pro-gun control because it always works. Every time.
I wanted to call in and tell you how ridiculous you are by questioning the authority of our Lord and Savior, yes. Kathy Hochul, and that gun control is the best thing ever. And I'm so happy that she cares about me enough to keep a gun away from me.
I feel the love. I do.
Well, no, I wanted to make a comment because obviously that's all nonsense. I don't believe any of that.
Right.
And so the shooting, the last one with the guy that came in and wanted to do bad things with the NFL, all that stuff.
Oh, yes, that guy too.
Right. She had the press conference and said, "Oh, it's all Las Vegas's fault. It's all Nevada's fault."
Right. Right.
Does anyone buy that argument? Because I feel like even I understand that the left wants everybody to ban guns, and that's like their dream. Yep. So yes, they're sympathetic to it, but does anyone buy that like if we only did it across the country, it worked so well in New York. If we did it across the country, it would fix everything.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes. And the example they will give you all the time is Australia. That's the example they give you. See, they banned guns in Australia, and now Australia is perfect. So Australia is now perfect because they banned guns in Australia. Now, clearly, Australia is by no means perfect, but they will tell you that. So now, yes, their answer is it's because all you crazy Trump supporters who want guns, it's all your fault. You were the guys who are making this happen. They honestly believe that. And they don't get that. The reality of it is, and I think you might know this, Craig, is that most gun control laws aren't against crazy Trump supporters. They're used against young black people trying to defend themselves, like this young lady I just talked about. That's what they're used against.
Yeah.
And gangbangers too, don't get me wrong. Gangbangers and people defending themselves from gangbangers. Correct.
Yeah. The question though is like, even if you believe that all of these people are altruistic and they have a respect for the law and they're actually trying to save you, who interacts more? You're a liberal. You should understand who interacts more with cops than the other demographics. it's young black men. You say that all the time. They're getting beat up by the cops, all this stuff. So by definition, they're going to have a chance of being affected by those laws more than the average Joe. So just by the fact that you say that they interact 36 more times or whatever it is, that's 36 more chances for them to be charged with a nonsense crime. Again, it's the feels, I guess, versus the reality. And I guess we're still all about feels.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, here's the biggest issue. If I want to actually make less violence, what I have to do is get rid of the black market, right? People always tell you, particularly people who are Democrats or I will guess what, establishment liberals, they will always tell you the same thing. Crime comes from poverty. It's all poverty. Well, I knew lots of poor people when I grew up, and most of them were not criminals. Most poor people are not criminals. In fact, the vast majority of poor people are not criminals. They're not criminals because they're poor. They're criminals because of a black market. Now, most of them, the black market goes into poor communities because wealthy people can get what they want on the regular market. And they also often own cops and courts. Also helps. But poor people are often the ones who have black markets. When you have a black market, you have violence for a very important reason. You don't have cops and courts. So how do you enforce your contracts? How do you enforce what you do? Street justice. There's no other way because you can't call a cop. You're in the black market. You can't go to court. You're in the black market. That's why that happens. And most people who are poor and go into the black market, they don't go into the black market trying to create violence. They go into the black market because they feel like they have no other option. And then once they get there, they recognize the only way of it working is through violence. That, by the way, is the origin of the mob being connected to unions. Unions were basically outlawed by the government. I mean, not officially, but basically because the government was fighting unions back in the day, literally bringing in the cops, bringing in the army to shut down unions. Unions had no other choice. What are they going to do? They had to have guns. They had to fight back against thugs. What they do? Got their own thugs. That's literally what happened. That was the connection from the mob and the unions, 100 years ago, or whatever that was. Was it 100 years ago? Maybe 100 years ago. Whatever time ago it was. That's when it was. So this is the black market. If you look at the highest percentage, by number and percentage, of cops being killed across this country, law enforcement being killed across this country, it was during Prohibition. The biggest black market America's ever had. And when they ended Prohibition, it's almost like night and day, like a switch got shut off. Law enforcement stopped getting killed. Done. And the black market lessened violence tremendously. That's what is all happening. All of these are all gangbangers. This is all street justice. It's all that stuff. I'm sorry, Craig. I preached for a while.
Yeah, no, you're right about all of it, and it goes back to the infantilization of minorities and all of these people that the left cares. They say they care about, but then they'll just be like, "Oh, well, they can't help themselves." Oh, gee, and it's like, what? Maybe figure out why they're doing this and then address that issue.
100%, and that's the hard part. Why would I want to actually lessen government, support local communities, get people to love each other, get people to support each other, get people to defend each other? Why would I want to do that? Then government can't do it. I can't make money off that, Craig. I can't grift off that. Why do you hate me making money, Craig? I don't understand you. Why are you so mean and selfish?
I mean, you could make money being a part of the solution, but I guess that's too difficult.
Yeah, that's kind of hard. It's way easier blaming people. I'm just saying. And I'd probably make more money.
Yeah, because then you don't have to have accountability either, because you still take the money and it's always someone else's fault. So
there we go. And our awesome queen has done that more than once. Thank you for the call, Craig. I appreciate it. Guys, am I wrong on this? It's Craig. You can let me know. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Radio, the voice of liberty. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
God bless America.
WYSL.
Avon, Rochester, WLEA, WLEA-FM, Cornell, New York.
FM Talk.
Canisteo Valley Update.
Canisteo News. This evening at 6 p.m., there's a Canisteo Greenwood School Board meeting. After that, school officials will be taking people on a tour to see the construction work, which has been completed on the school grounds. A public hearing also at 7 p.m. this evening at the Canisteo Town Hall. That public hearing will be about the proposed solar project on Route 248 there. The regular Canisteo Town Board meeting will be right after that. Tomorrow night at Canisteo Village Hall, the board meets an hour earlier than usual. They'll start an executive session at 6 p.m. And coming up next week, the Canisteo Village Department of Public Works will be flushing hydrants. That'll be during normal work hours. Canisteo will also be flushing hydrants the week after. Village officials say residents might have roily water while the crews are working. Brian O'Neill for the Voice of Liberty.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center. Tonight, mainly clear, muggy, and very warm, with temperatures only getting down to the low 70s. Tomorrow will be the hottest day of the week, with temperatures again in the low 90s, humid, as well as a chance of afternoon showers along Route 104. And then Wednesday, a cold front will come through, which will kick up some showers and thunder, but no severe weather expected. More chances for showers in the afternoon, with highs in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Nate Morris for the Voice of Liberty.
Updike's Willow Ridge Quality Care Facility in Hornell is an adult home for the elderly and mildly disabled, offering 24-hour care and all the comforts of home. They have semi-private and private furnished rooms, all located on one floor, 5 dining areas with delicious home-cooked meals. Also a conference room for private gatherings and meetings, located at 131 Hornell Street, Hornell. Call to arrange a tour at 607-324-5417 or visit their website, updikeswillowridge.com.
Come on, get up, get going, see the USA, the Myers way.
Myers RV wants you to camp more and spend less. Take advantage of our RV blowout sale. First responders, military, and veterans receive a $100 gift card with the purchase of a new RV. Travel trailers, toy haulers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes. Over 100 brands from all major manufacturers. Since 1967, Myers has been the trusted family-owned dealer, delivering unbeatable service, selection, and the area's best prices. Now with 15 locations across the Northeast. Experience the difference.
The Myers way.
Learn more at MyersRVs.com.
See the USA, see the USA, the Myers way.
FM Talk. Genesee your path with GCC. GCC offers a #1 value for our community college in Western New York and 75+ academic programs that are transferable too. You'll get hands-on training in our new state-of-the-art labs, including the new welding lab and the advanced manufacturing and skilled trades lab. On-campus student housing is available. Registration is now open. Apply for free online at genesee.edu/apply. Start your journey today.
As a roofing contractor, the shingle you recommend is important. As a certified GAF contractor, Callan only installs the GAF Timberline HDZ 50-year non-pro-rated roofing system with the industry's only unlimited wind warranty and a 25-year algae production. It's the most advanced GAF shingle, period. Call Callan Contracting at 585-813-2761 or visit their website, callancontracting.com. Mention WYSL and save 5% off roofing or gutters.
Are you new to town and resorting to big box stores and online shopping to revamp your home? Get big city experience and unlimited options at Decorator's Choice in Hornell. We offer the largest selection of flooring in the area with installation. From custom furniture and window treatments to Benjamin Moore paints and products, our design team will create your dream space. Shop your entire sleep system with our split head and traditional mattresses, offering bedding and pillow lines for your best night's sleep. Decorator's Choice has everything you need to revamp your space. Visit our showroom at 37 Seneca Street in Hornell and like us on Facebook.
Open Door Mission's Cold Water House is a residential program where women develop a plan for sustainable living. and can receive training in parenting, nutrition, job readiness, money management, and self-care. Learn more and give at opendoormission.com.
WYSL.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
Sharpe Radio on the Voice of Liberty.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Radio on the Voice of Liberty. 585-346-3000 is the number to reach out and say hi. Tell me if I'm right. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't mind. Let me take some of these comments. A bunch of them are popping up. Some of you helped me out right away, and I appreciate it. And you let me know that it is actually 2013 when the SAFE Act popped up. I was not sure if it was 13 or 14. I had a feeling it was 13, as I mentioned, but I wasn't sure. Andrew let me know it is 2013. Thank you for that. So, all right, let me grab a couple of these if I can. All righty. I'm looking here. Robert says, for Black Americans, it's even more sinister than poor people just moving into the black market. Black Americans were forced in the black market because they were legally pushed out of the mainstream. I think that's true. I think you find that to be true in several ways, particularly gun control in the 60s, right? Well, for those of you who don't know, gun control originated after the Civil War. There was no gun control with Civil War. There was no gun control. You could have whatever you wanted. Literally, people used to own battleships. People who will say, well, Larry, you can't have everybody like own tanks and things. People used to own battleships. I'm not making that up. They will call privateers and they get a letter of marque. So it's called letter of marque? Yes. And the government would say, hey, we're fighting pirates or something in the 1800s. Can we use your battleship? Here's a letter of marque. You can go fight our war for us because we don't have enough battleships. That was a thing. So, yes. So after the Civil War, the government said, well, the government, white elites after the Civil War in the South who used to own slaves said, boy, I don't want these guys having guns because they might come use them on us because I used to own them. Makes sense. I get that. I mean, wrong, but I understand it. So that's the origins of gun control. Let's not let black people have guns. Now, again, 60s come, that's 1860s. Now we go 1960s. And the Black Panthers are trying to create their own world, trying to create their own local control, their own communities, almost like a modern day Black Amish, almost like that. Government says, I can't have that. I can't control you then. More gun control. Gun control has always started as a race issue. You are correct. But now it moves into everybody else. Now everybody gets it. Gun control's wrong, period. It's unconstitutional, it's unethical, and it's racist. It's all the bad things. Gun control is all the bad things. And it is always presented as being something great. Now, to your point, Robert, when you create a black market, you create more need for violence, which means you create more need for guns, knives, all those things. You create more of a need. And when you don't allow black people to create their own Wall Streets, which is the most popular story, or their own everything, you don't allow them to, they go into the black market. People still need goods and services, and they still fall down and have problems. You're right. When the government does not allow black communities to grow on their own, they go into the black market. You're correct. That's also common for immigrant communities. However, immigrant communities in general were allowed to eventually grow. Black communities were not allowed to eventually grow. So yes, thank you for that piece. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that completely. Let me grab some more of these if I can. John says, anyone from outside New York with a valid gun license should be immune from prosecution for just a simple carry of that weapon. True, but they are not. You're right. It is clearly wrong, but they still do it. It's utterly wrong. Yes. Michael says, any restriction of the individual right to self-defense is complicity with the attacker. Yes. But this is part of our culture, Michael. I've told this story on this show before, and I'll bring it up again. It's even in our schools with bullying, right? My daughter was bullied by a kid years ago, and I taught her always, fight back. I don't care what anyone says, fight back, and she did, and of course she got in trouble because again, you cannot defend yourself in New York City. I wish this was an exaggeration or a joke. It is against the rules. It's against our culture. It's against the law. Just get attacked. Will you just shut up and get attacked like everybody else does? Right? Like the rest of us. So she fought back. And of course, I got called into school. And the vice principal is upset and going to scold me. Tells me how he's going to, usually they would suspend my daughter and they're going to consider suspending my daughter. And I said, oh, it's like, you're going to suspend her? Yeah, probably a day, maybe 2 or 3. I said, oh, what about the kid who bullied her? Well, yeah, he's already been suspended before. Oh, so this is a known bullier. Yeah. You've already suspended him. Yeah. So he bullied my daughter. Yeah. Like he didn't fight me at all. It's like, yeah. So my daughter defends herself and you're going to punish her. He's like, yes, she has to call a teacher. I said, oh, she can't defend herself? No, she has to call a teacher. I said, okay, suspend her for a week. I literally told him that. So do the whole week. I'll take her out. We'll have a great time. I'm proud of her. He was like, He didn't suspend her. But it is to comply, Michael. You are correct. It is to comply. Mike Voss in the house. He says gun control is the illusion of safety. True. At the cost of freedom and a violation of the Constitution. Also true. It's a cheap way for the Democrats to gin up donations and re-election votes based on fear without the need to do anything. This is literally what Craig was saying too, Mike. You're right. This feels good, right? This is my feels. I'm going to protect you. Mike, I care about you, man. So I'm going to pass some laws to make illegal guns illegaler. We'll all feel better. I mean, you still can't protect yourself, but we'll all feel better about it. When they rob you and beat you up, I will feel better about myself when that happens. Now, if I'm elite, I have armed guards, so I'm not concerned. But you're not part of the elites. Yeah, you don't really care. You don't even matter. That's how that works. So yeah, I wish you were wrong, but clearly you're absolutely correct. And that's the sad part. Leela says, my mind hurts. Yeah, I like that. Yes. Leela says, how about if we carry the founding fathers' historical firearms in New York City? Well, Leela, that sounds great. And you will go to jail. We recently in New York allow you to actually carry nunchucks. Not that I think you should use nunchucks to defend yourself, but the reality of it is we had banned them. Why would you ban nunchucks? What? Well, people could hit you with a nunchuck. I can hit you with a bat too. I can hit you with a chain too. Those aren't illegal. And not just that, it's unconstitutional. The Second Amendment doesn't say guns. It says arms, which in theory would include nunchucks. And if you're that good and you can stop a gang of guys with guns with nunchucks, please do it. But just make sure when you do it, video it and put it on YouTube. That would be amazing. I hope that there's a guy out there who is so good with nunchucks that like 3 or 4 guys want to jump him. He can use his nunchucks, knock all the guns out of their hands and beat them all up. That'd be amazing. So, but yes, you couldn't have nunchucks. Like that's a weapon of mass destruction. I mean, maybe you might knock one guy out before you knock yourself out with those things. I mean, maybe, so I guess that's mass because you and him get knocked out. Is that how they think? I mean, maybe. It seems really, really weird. Patty's in the house. Patty says, I would shoot myself in the foot, but I will defend responsible people to carry. A Bernie bro friend tried to teach me to shoot to defend myself. I'm too nervous, but he tried hard. Well, there's the piece, Patty. I don't want everybody carrying a firearm. The Second Amendment is a right, not a requirement. If you don't want to carry a firearm, you should not. This is up to you if you feel it's required. And I've told her before, but again, it's good timing for this. Years ago, when I used to be a teacher, one of the teachers in my school, she was an ultimate total pacifist. She said, I would never harm anybody. I would never shoot anybody, no matter what. I would always just talk my way out of things. Never. And some guy, of course, said, well, what if you were being RAPED'd? What if that was going to happen? Then what? And she said, I would talk my way out of it. I would still never do it. She goes, I've had that situation. I did talk my way out of it. And this is what she said. I'm giving you her words, what she said. She said, if I had to go through with that, I would rather have that happen than me be responsible for shooting somebody and killing somebody. So I would accept that better than the other. And I stepped in. I said, okay, right, that's you, no worries. I said, would you stop somebody else from putting a round in that guy? Would you stop somebody else who would say they will not accept that and they would rather put that guy down? And she said, no, we're okay. You should live your values. If your values tell you that you would rather have that happen to you than end that guy's life, okay, that's you. Live your values. But don't you dare stop somebody else who would say, no, I'm putting that guy down. And she didn't. That's what America's supposed to be about, Patty. We're supposed to be about that right there. You live your values and don't stop somebody else from living their values. That's how it should happen. I love what you just said. Is Patty right? Of course she is. Sharpe Radio, Voice of Liberty, 585-346-3000. Back with more. I see your chat. I'll get more. And your calls after the break.
Debunking advertising. From the law office of
We have Roger.
one ad some injury.
You're welcome.
Inundate you with what's your case worth? Call us and find out. You know, nobody can tell you, quote, what your case is worth over the phone. Nobody knows. The ultimate answer to, quote, what your case is worth involves weeks or months of research, evaluation, and preparation. Many factors go into any compensation you might get, like applicable law, who's actually at fault, how much insurance coverage there is, and many, many other factors. At the law office of Christopher Johnson, the singular focus is getting your life back on track after an accident or injury. That takes money, and it helps when the advice and legal advice you get has a one-on-one focus informed by straight talk. Christopher Johnson, attorney, car, truck, motorcycle accidents, personal injury, and DWI defense. Call 585-415-3803. 585-415-3803.
Youth for Christ Rochester is creating a safe sanctuary and a Christ culture for at-risk city kids. Our basketball programs provides a strict code of conduct, discipline, and mentoring to give our kids the boundaries they need and crave. Our God's Girls middle school program is so popular, we're now in 3 city schools and growing. Our Performing Arts Academy explores and identifies untapped gifts, all while delivering the gospel of Jesus Christ. Give a monthly or one-time gift at yfcrochester.org/donate.
Sharpe Radio on the Voice of Liberty.
Oh, yes, it's Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Radio on the Voice of Liberty. Thank you so much for giving me a small chunk of your afternoon. We've been talking about gun control. We've been talking about how it doesn't work. Violence in New York City, even though the strictest gun laws in the country, still more shootings. Now, Ohio just recently said, all right, basically you have open carry. And what's happened in Ohio? Less violence. Yes. New Hampshire has some of the laxest gun laws in the entire country. Less crime. Lowest crime rate. Lowest crime rate. It's not rocket science here, guys. It really isn't. I'm taking a call if I could. Roger, how are you, sir?
Hey, Larry.
What's up?
So, 2 things. I don't think that most people, and I'm talking about law-abiding gun owners, I really don't think that they want to actually have to kill somebody to defend themselves.
Yep. Agreed.
They just want to make the person stop harming them or whoever.
Yep.
So I'm going to come out not with a law or a government solution or anything like that. I'm going to go full tech. I'm going to go full geek or nerd on you for a second.
Okay.
somebody needs to invent that gun that the stormtroopers shot Princess Leia with, where it stunned her at the very beginning of the very first Star Wars movie.
Remember that. That's right. Yes.
Just temporary paralysis that lasts for about, I don't know, 15 minutes. You know what I mean? So
that's basically a taser. It's basically a taser.
But a taser causes pain and electrocution, and you're like, you know. I'm talking about something that just makes your limbs go limp for like, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes. You're not dead. You don't have to worry about going to court. And like, of course that won't stop people from taking you to court, but you don't have to worry about a murder case. You know,
true.
the person stopped harming you or harming them or harming whoever. One and done.
Another call on hold.
I like the stun gun idea. I like it.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is, if mayors want to go look at how to reduce crime, I was briefly looking at what the mayor of Baltimore did. He did like a bunch of things. I didn't really get to, I was like reading through it kind of briefly on Twitter, on X, but he brought it down. Violent crime down 62%, the biggest drop since 1977 or the late 70s, sometime in the 70s. So, that's something to look at also. Like, we can come together and come up with solutions. We don't have to
agree.
We don't have to be locked in these things of, guns or no gun. We don't got to get in a Beto O'Rourke and Second Amendment fight.
No, I'm with you completely. I think we could easily find a way of doing this. I completely agree. I want to say thanks for the call, Roger. Thank you. Look, Roger's right. If we could just talk about ways of fixing,
Jim,
if you make people happier and not in black markets, whatever you do to make that happen, you will have less crime. If you lessen gun laws and allow people to defend yourself, you will have less crime. He's right. I like the stun gun idea. I hope they make it. That'd be awesome. I'm going to call if I could. This is Jim. Jim, how are you?
Good, Larry. How you doing?
What's going on?
Good. Well, I just want to comment on the last caller. There already is less than lethal concealed carry. They're launchers. And unfortunately, in New York, you can only get kinetic rounds, which pretty much puts a bruise on somebody. And I'm a licensed concealed carry, and I don't. God forbid I ever have to defend myself.
Right.
So I bought a couple of these less than lethals, and if we could get the pepper balls in New York State, that would be great. But the only thing we can get in New York is kinetic rounds, which they do enough. They put a bruise on you.
But if some guy is really trying to harm you,
crime.
The problem is someone's really trying to harm you, particularly if he's hopped up on some form of amphetamine or something like that, he's going to be bruised, but he's still coming at you.
But these are semi-automatic, so you can whack them with a whole bunch of balls. I understand that.
Okay.
And if there was pepper balls, I don't know. I don't even think methamphetamines could overcome the pepper balls. Once they get in your eyes.
No,
it's
that's
hard
a
to
good
say.
point.
But we're so overly regulated in New York State. It's ridiculous.
So hold on. So in this case, you just added another layer to this, Jim. So not only is gun control hurting us, but so is ammunition control. Even that.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I know in my area of at least 4 gun shops that have gone out of business because of this. And it's because they can go to, another state and buy ammo without a background check. Crying out loud.
Right. Yes.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Do you know what a Byrna is? BYRNA?
Yes, I do. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't want to be an advertiser for it.
Oh no, it's okay. Tell me what it is. Because I just
It's
have
a
people in the
burner
chat
launcher.
pop it up.
What it is, it's a CO2 powered, legal in 50 states. It has a little CO2 cartridge that goes in there, and you load your, in New York, your kinetic rounds, or in other states, you can load pepper balls into it, or whatever. They got different versions of it. One's a 50 caliber. When it hits you, it pops out the pepper powder, and it incapacitates people for up to 45 minutes.
There we go.
And
see that we don't even have to go Star Wars. We got it
rather
already.
than a stun gun. My God, people have heart conditions. If you hit them with a stun gun, you can cause somebody to have a heart attack, for crying out loud.
Got it.
So
That
this
makes a
thing
lot
is
of
just
sense.
like it's a bruiser. Basically, it's a bruiser incapacitator, and it fires on a semi-automatic basis, and it's legal in all 50 states. It's not a firearm because it uses CO2.
Got it.
Firearm refers to gunpowder. Fire gun.
Got it. Okay, you have just cleared that. I appreciate that. So we don't have to go to Star Wars. We can do it right now.
We could do it right now.
I love that. Jim, thank you so much for that call, my friend.
Yes, sir, Larry. Always good talking to you.
Thanks. So yeah, this part is very. See, it goes to, all right. Most people think, and these two last callers got it perfectly. Most people think everybody who wants a gun is a gun nut who can't wait to be John Wick and is going to go kill everybody. And it's exactly the opposite. In fact, what we know from data, legal gun owners are statistically less likely to commit crimes for people who are not gun owners. Less likely. So the more legal gun owners you have, by default, you will have less crime. By default. And why is that? Because when you have a firearm, you by default start thinking about that piece of power you have in your pocket and the responsibility you have for it. Particularly if you do what I think is an amazing idea, which is do training. I hope you all who are firearm owners do so. Train, go to the range. You start thinking about what I have in my pocket is deadly. And one of my favorite, I guess, advocates is Maj Toure. And he always says, remember something. If you pull that trigger, whatever happens from that round coming out, you are responsible for. Whatever happens, you are responsible. Don't forget that. Don't pull that trigger unless you are ready to be responsible for whatever happens when that round comes out. And when you think that way, you start rethinking things. You start rethinking, do I really want to do this? I would really rather just stop this bad thing from happening. And if I can do that by brandishing, if I can do it by threatening, or if I could use, a burn around, whatever. Look, gun control doesn't work. Gun owners are good people. Let people be good. Let people have freedom. We will have an absolutely better community. Guys, thank you so much for giving me a small chunk of your afternoon. I will see you all very soon.